What's up, Aries? Welcome to your rest of June financial reading, finance and career. Decks are already shuffled, so let's get right to it. First up, you have the Devil card in reverse. This is Capricorn energy. You're freeing yourself up from some form of bondage, some form of financial enslavement, some form of financial dependency. Okay? You're coming out of it in some way, shape, or form. Interesting to note, the pentacle in reverse is featured on the eye chakra of this devil type figure. A lot of people mention that, at least in one of the people that are tied up to the devil, there's a wry smirk there. Some say that, it has to do with kind of, feigning ignorance or not utilizing all the resources that are in your current environment or surrounding. But the fact that, this card emerged in the reverse means that you're coming out of this energy. Whether it's out of your own, volition or, just not wanting to play possum anymore in some way, shape, or form, if that makes sense. I think, in this day and age, we all know that we do have a lot of resources at our disposal, but for some reason we stick to outdated methods and models of, conducting our finances and our businesses. A lot of that has to do with our perception and how we view our situation. And I think the understanding of our value in a different path, so to speak, especially if you're not, I always say this probably to a fault, but especially if you're not utilizing your God-given gifts and talents. If you're stuck in an office all day and you're, athletically inclined, musically inclined, or if your natural qualities and characteristics aren't, highlighted, or, if they don't play to your benefit where you're at, where you're positioned, then, why remain there? Although it's so easy to, again, a lot of this has to do with the construct of the model in our mind of, what it is to be financially stable. So it's interesting to note. Next up we have, the Page of Pentacles, believe it or not. So after coming out of this and freeing yourself, essentially, popping your head out of the sand, you're able to see clearly now. You're able to perceive all the abundance, all the resources, all the value, all the divine timing that Spirit, God, the universe, angels, saints, whatever you believe in, lays at your feet. But it has to do with freeing ourselves from outdated models. Freedom is fun. But if you're raised to believe that it's something to be feared, then, or if it's such a high risk, no reward, why would you ever want to come out of this, the devil that so to speak? So, It reminds me of something Les Brown said once in one of his motivational speeches. It was a story about a prisoner who had the option to walk out of, prison, and essentially into the unknown wilderness. Maybe literally or metaphorically. I can't recall what the specific circumstances of the situation of the story was, but essentially the prisoner chose to stay where he was because he was afraid of the unknown. But really our consciousness is meant to illuminate the darkness, the light of our consciousness and awareness. So I feel like a lot of the times most people, we stop at the level of fear of the unknown or fear of failure, which is why the majority of us don't take risks. You have the Strength card in reverse. This is the Leo card, showing personal perseverance as you always do, Aries. It's a staple in your character. Okay, the lemniscate above number 8 is about new beginnings. The fact that it emerged in the reverse, I read it as an internalized form of strength. It took strength to remove yourself from this situation, the devil that you know. It's safer than the devil that you don't know. But because you were brave, you get that perfect divine timing, opportunity to build your own success. I'm trying to think if I should cut over to part 2, which is going to be featured on Patreon, by the way. So if you're not a subscriber yet, go over to Run and Gun Tarot at patreon.com. That's spelled RUN, the letter N, and then GUN, and then Tarot. Run and Gun Tarot at patreon.com. You can get access to this part 2. Let me do one more so I could lead up to the part 2. Yeah, where you were, it was just, you were just feeling heartbreak. And the juice is probably not worth the squeeze. Spirit, could we get a preview of what's to come? Part 2 of the reading? Yeah, the 9 of Cups in reverse. You're basically going to make your own dreams come true. This is the wishes fulfilled card when it pops up in the reverse. Again, an internalized aspect of that. A negative connotation of the 9 of Cups in reverse could be some sort of dependency. But again, I think the cards are just highlighting again, because the 9 of Cups is emotional dependency, quite possibly on the false sense of security of this position. That is a form of dependency emotionally. So when you no longer depend on outside forces for your finances, then you get this emotional independence and freedom, which a lot of people fear. You might be into merchandising, trading, import, export. This is a young emperor card. 3s are about creativity, impetus, motivation, kickstarts, ignitions, passion, drive, action. So you could be setting out for new horizons or waiting for your ships to come in. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to cut this and then record part 2 for Patreon. Yeah, you got the Queen of Wands. You're in your power now. It's up to you now. This is the Aries card, by the way. Pisces, Aries energy. Standing strong in your capabilities. You're more than capable. The Queen of Wands gets a lot done with barely lifting a finger. So that's what we got for part 1. Check out part 2 on patreon.com. Running Gun Tarot. Become a subscriber member so you can get access to this. Okay? Thanks, Aries. Peace.